what cruising along is at 10 miles an hour. This is Flagler Beach. You see the water tower. It's actually just south of Flagler Beach. Well, I guess it is Flagler Beach. And we're on the Halifax River. And those pictures I showed that where I was tied up to the dock, that's my cousin's, my first cousin, and she doesn't have a boat, and she lives on a canal dock, and I have a boat, and I live on a cul-de-sac. What's wrong with this picture? You know what I'm saying? Oh Lord. Try to convince her, but no, can't get her. It's like, hey, let's swap houses. Yeah, that lot alone that she sits on is, without the house, is a $500,000 all day long. All day long. So, we're in a manatee zone. Yeah. So we gotta slow down. It's winter time. You know, the cold water comes in, and they got certain areas of the river that, you know, they the manatees they come in. But it's been warm up until now. There's I mean, it's like in the 60s, but it was up to the 80s every day for the longest time. So I don't think the manatees are out too much right now. It's when it starts to get freezing day after day after day, you know. So, okay, more to come. All right, let's get back to boat building. Santa Claus came early and dropped off this radio speaker kit. I think it's got like 200 watts. Yeah, 200 watts. But it's put out by Garmin. It's a Fusion product. It comes with it comes with the headset and 2 speakers, the wire, and what you need to get it going. AM, FM, Bluetooth. So that's what we got going on here. Get the other speaker in there, and we got the oh boy, we got the other speaker. This is what she looks like. It's definitely beefy, waterproof. Gonna mount that on the it's gonna go on this side coming through for the passenger side, and we gotta make way from this section right here, clean up some of these wires. I know it's a mess, but it works, you know. It's just not neat. I know it screams amateur, but guess what? I'm an amateur. So okay, so what did we do today? Not too much, but we moved. I don't know if you remember or not, but here on the dash, on the helm, we had this further up. And we had basically all this empty space behind. So we pushed that back. It seems like it might be blocking your vision, but it really doesn't when you get behind the seat. And this is the Fusion head unit. It's got a little LED display, and she fits quite nicely, going right into there. And that looks good. And you can see it's, I'm gonna need to put some wooden trim up and around 3/4 of 3 sides to this. That way just look a little neater. I certainly can't leave it like that. But this was actually a little bit of a job. Cutting through that beam and through this slot. I had to obviously fill up my my screw holes, and I had a cable hole right here. This was actually pretty massive. So we're gonna sand this down and then revarnish it, and you'll hardly ever know it was like that. This filler right here, you can see where the screw holes is. This is the actual wood. I saved the sawdust and I grind it down in a blender to make powder out of it, and then I mix it up with some glue and make my own patch, so it perfectly matches. It's very hard to detect. There's two things I'm gonna tell you, and no, Harbor Freight doesn't pay me to say all this. I'm just telling you from a guy to a guy. I'm not getting paid for this whatsoever, but when I find something that's actually a great tool, this oscillating, I love this thing. The cuts to get through there were made all by the oscillating saw, and you can see there's wires I had to contend with. So even if this, you know, I was going up here and I caught a wire, it wouldn't cut it, because basically it's just vibrating. You can actually put your finger on it and it won't cut it. But anyway, getting back to the build, we're gonna put this one speaker on this side facing outward to the passenger. That's a good spot for it. And here on this side, we're gonna make a spot right here. I gotta move some of these wires, and that's a good spot for that. So you know, I'm just I'm kind of overwhelmed with the fact that my wiring job looks like it does. I think it's absolutely amateurish. It looks like a child went through and just threw wires everywhere. I'm actually ashamed of it. But I think over time I'm going to start making things a little bit neater. You know, the good thing is everything, it works. I mean, you know, it's a good thing. So, but it's a mess. It's just a mess. Look at that. Took you no time at all. So, easy work. And obviously, if you have the right tools, and this little roto zip is the right tool for that job, just pop open that. I had a little bit of a worry about the wires being everywhere, but it went through and it fits. That side obviously was clean and easy. So let's see what they look like installed. Yeah, just like that. They're in. They're not hooked up yet, but that's okay. The other one's in. And I obviously got a bunch of connections to do. And I did say I have to make a wooden, I don't know what you call it, but a base that would match this to this in the shape of a V. So three-sided. And this is what speaker 1 behind the helm, speaker 2 behind the passenger. So I don't know what kind of tunes we're going to be cranking. It's obviously doesn't have an amplifier, but if it's not loud enough, we could add a couple of more speakers. And of course we could well, we could just add a couple more speakers and an amplifier if it's not loud enough. I don't think that's going to be an issue with this system, but we'll let you know what it sounds like when we're done. Wow, that sun's bright. Whew. Whoa, baby.